WATS Basic is the completely free version of WATS that allows you to upload your existing test reports to the cloud for storage and analytics. To upload the data, you can use the WATS client and install this software directly on each of the test machines or to whatever machine you have that can access the test records to where in the folder where they're stored. So you can either use the .NET API, LabVIEW API, or direct NI-testStan integrations, or you can also run converters directly on this WATS client, either one of our pre-configured converters or you can build your own ones. And once you start uploading the data to WATS then here, you will be able to see a lot of statistics and key performance metrics for this data. So included in the basic version of WATS is a default dashboard that will display a lot of different information related to yield, number of test results or test statistics, but also frequent failures. So down in the right bottom corner, you can see a widget that shows what are the most frequent test failures that are causing your units to fail. On the upper left side here, you can see yield statistics for the different part numbers that you have. Same on the right upper corner, but it's only a visual representation of the yield there. On the reporting side, you have access to, so there's two reports that we'll cover briefly. One of them is the yield report here. So this will calculate the first pass yield, second pass yield percentage and trends based on the data that you have. So in the example here, you can see you've got about 500 units each of, or 500 test reports each of these part numbers, OLC 140P and NC. They have first pass yield of 75% and 83%, and that is a trend that is down 3.2% and up 2.6%. We can also access the individual test results for these in the report that we have here. So this will list all of these test reports. I can click on the magnifying glass here and it will open up the results for the report itself so that I can see the content of it. I'll expand all of this. So here you can access all of the details that you have. Typically a lot of companies, they will use like Microsoft Excel or similar to do these things, but here you have it straight out of the box. Now if you go back and scroll further down into this test report, you can see there's a lot of visuals available here. So it's the same as we saw on the dashboard, the step caused UUT to fail. I mean, what test step has caused the unit on the test to fail most frequently for the data set that we are looking at here. But also broken down by other graphs, like what is the status, how many of these were passed, failed, errors, what test operations were they in, what part numbers are you testing, and what locations, operators and station names. You can also specify this, you can customize these yourself. So if you would like to see how many of a certain revision you have tested, then you can add revision here as well. And we'll show down here. And the free version of WATS is limited up to 50 megabytes of processed data each month. And that will actually be the size of each of these test reports that you have. So each of them will contribute to the volume of data that you upload and how much of those 50 megabytes that you consume. So an easy way to check the size of these reports is just by exporting as a WATS standard XML format file from here. And you can check the size on disk of this report, how much it accumulates. You can also here see on the account settings, you will be able to see a a graphical view of how much data have you used for the last month, along with some information here on the plan that you have. You also have access to the periodic yield report in the free version of WATS. And we'll have a look at here. So this will take the first pass yield metrics and break it down by groups of periods. So if we use month in this example here, you can expand on these time intervals, and what you also will have visualized here is the past in run chart. So this will tell you how often your products are being retested. So in this case here, it says that, so we know from up here we have 458 units that passed in the first attempt, because we're looking at the first pass yield. And this will show me, out of all the other ones that are flagged as having passed, in what attempt did they go through. So there's 92 that went through in the second attempt, so second pass yield. 20 went by in the third attempt. Then you have some in the fourth, fifth and seventh attempt. So these ones are actually retested like 6 times and then eventually passing. That's something you also can see from the free version of WATS.